It's really impressive to me how Minecraft has become something of a universal experience. I can say with utmost confidence that anybody within my age group has at least a basic understanding of how Minecraft works. Go pull anyone below the age of 25 off the street and ask them how to build a nether portal. Go, do it. I'm waiting. On the off chance you don't get the cops called on your ass, they're gonna confidently say that you need 14 obsidian and a flint and steel. Now if they say 10 obsidian instead of 14, then that's your cue to call the cops on them because they are a psychopath who doesn't fill in the corners. Point being, Minecraft is huge, and a lot of people out there, hell, most people out there, have some sort of connection with it in one way or another. For me, that connection is one born out of limitation. I didn't have much computer access as a small child, so my first experiences with Minecraft were all had on the Xbox 360 version, circa 2013, back when horses didn't exist. And beds only came in the color of blood red. I'm not knocking it in any way, though. In fact, I honestly prefer this over the mob votes and biome overhauls that modern Minecraft is full of. This right here is the perfect level of simplicity for me. Plenty of stuff to do, but not so much that it overwhelms me. It's well-rounded, simple, fun. What's not well-rounded, on the other hand, is the other form of Minecraft that dominated my childhood. Minecraft Xbox 360 Edition may have been what hooked me, but Minecraft Pocket Edition is what kept me attached to that hook. Wow, it's just like the console game, but on my iOS device. Satisfactory. That's probably what I said to myself when I was 9 and first discovered this game.
Minecraft Pocket Edition.
For only £2! Yes, sir!
I urged my parents to buy it for me, and when they did, I swiftly realized that this was not the Minecraft I had grown to love on Xbox, but rather was a shittier looking, poorer controlling version of the game with the majority of the content stripped away to make it fit on an iPhone. It did have one leg up over its competition, though. I could play it whenever I wanted, so long as I didn't get caught. I could only play Minecraft on the Xbox on occasion, so being the dipshit kid that I was, I would usually just play it in secret on my iPod Touch. And for a good long while, this was my primary way of experiencing Minecraft, as terrible of a port as it was. The reason for this long-winded story is to make it clear that I have history with Pocket Edition. I played the hell out of it during the time when it was at its worst state. And I still played it even after they fixed it and made it, good. But in recent years, I've longed to revisit those primitive roots, that horrid downgrade that I made the best of. Like a baby boomer when they think of rotary phones and walking uphill both ways, I longed for the past. Not in spite of its flaws, but rather because of it. I want to remember what it was like. So I dug around on the internet for a while, searching archives and ROM sites until eventually I found it. An archived copy of a classic Minecraft Pocket Edition version. This is it, boys. I'm going back. Now, let me tell ya, it was a bitch getting this game to be playable. Finding an old APK of the game was the easy part. The hard part was figuring out how to actually play it. I'm emulating this shit, obviously, which means I can only tap one spot on the screen at a time. So it took me like 2 hours to figure out how to map the keys on my keyboard to places on the screen. In fact, I still don't fully understand what I did to make it start working. I think BlueStacks just decided to have pity on me. And even with it working, it took a bit of getting used to when I was actually playing it, since everything that the mouse would do in Java Edition is now mapped to one action, that being tapping the screen. But yeah, there it is, kids. This is Minecraft Pocket Edition, circa 2013. Back in the good old days. It looks like garbage, just how I remember it. I spent a little while wandering around looking for a good spot to settle down. Then I realized it was nearly nighttime, so I hastily built a wooden house on this cliff, right nestled up against the world border protecting me from the infinite void beyond. Not that it mattered all that much, because when night fell, no hostile mobs spawned near me at all. In fact, it was eerily silent. Where are the monsters? Why am I so safe? Then they started spawning, so that fixed that problem. By the way, pro tip, if you're ever in danger, just turn peaceful on and off again. This house, by the way, you dig it? I built it in the style of the houses I'd build back when this version still existed. I didn't understand what breathing room was as a kid. I also was fond of this whole everything that's not a load-bearing block has to be glass thing. I didn't have sand though, so every wall is just a gaping hole. Which sounds unsafe, I'm aware, especially from skeletons, what with their projectile weapons. But keep in mind, this is old Minecraft. Skeletons didn't have aimbot back then. Back in these days, those fuckers could not hit anything. I didn't have a bed either, so I had to spend the night just chilling in my house, and I was struck by how ominous it felt. Not to be all, ooh, liminal space, ooh. But the vibes in old Pocket Edition are definitely off, and I feel like the main reason for that is the silence. There was no music back then. They hadn't figured out how to fit C418's musical masterpieces into an iOS app yet, so every waking moment is spent in pure silence save for the sounds of yourself and any mobs nearby. And that's one of the reasons I think this version of Minecraft has stuck with me so much. It's unique in a way no other way to play Minecraft was. It's like a handheld port of a console game, where usually they'd have to change everything to make the game be on a handheld, to the point where it's a different game entirely. That's what Minecraft Pocket Edition was. One of the main things I remember very well from old Pocket Edition was this strange contraption called a nether reactor core. Which, let me explain that. So if this piece of junk couldn't process music, then there was no way in hell it would be able to process an entire second dimension. It was just not happening. But the devs of Pocket Edition still wanted the nether to exist in-game in some capacity, so this was their workaround. With a couple diamonds and iron ingots, you could build what's called a nether reactor core, which, when placed in the middle of a very specific formation of blocks and activated, would bring a little piece of the nether to the overworld. It was bizarre, and I wish it still existed in some way, because, like, what? And that's really my end goal here with this playthrough. There wasn't an end or an enter dragon. Hell, I don't even think endermen existed yet. At least I didn't encounter any. So the only true end goal here was to activate the nether reactor and witness the best/worst game mechanic in Minecraft history. So here's what I had to do to get there. I was gonna need a couple diamonds and 36 golden ingots. And some iron and stuff, but, you know, that didn't fit into the sentence well, and I fucked it. I fucked it. So I began my lengthy search for all the materials I'd need, operating out of a mine that began in my own home. And here's another fun old Pocket Edition-ism for you. There were no caves. Oh yeah, man, back then our worlds existed on a thick layer of solid stone with no holes in it unless the player made them. It was truly awful. This is why I never was one of those people clamoring for a cave update, because back in my day, there was no Cave 2 update. We strip mined and we liked it, goddammit. And you know, I don't know what it is, but I kinda liked it still. Which is weird, because I hate strip mining in modern Minecraft, but playing this version, I didn't mind it so much. Throwing on a YouTube video and just mining until my stash of stone pickaxes runs out, it's kinda nice. I think it's helped by the fact that it's the only option. I can't spelunk looking for diamonds, all I can do is mine. But, you know, it feels like I'm living off the land, working with my hands, appealing to the masculine urge to dig holes to nowhere. It took me several days to get the materials I needed. When I did eventually find enough gold for a reactor, I had strip mined so much that my strips were crossing over into each other. I'd essentially created a web, but without the need for wrist jizz, mind you. So here it is, baby. After all these years, I'm finally gonna activate a nether reactor again. So to create one, you have to do this weird block formation that looks like a Herobrine summoning tutorial more than anything. And by the way, it's not like the game explains any of this to you. Now, in true Minecraft fashion, nowhere in the game is it implied this is how the nether reactor core is used. So if your iPad didn't have a regular internet connection, then you were piss out of luck. You were never figuring out how to make a nether reactor. at least that aspect of the nether process is intact. It always bothered me how original Minecraft did nothing to explain how to reach the nether, or even imply another dimension existed in the first place. In fact, the addition of ruined nether portals is like the one design decision in the nether update I actually agree with. Rest in peace, zombie pigman, by the way. I'm getting off topic. I need to give a proper demonstration of this thing. So, here goes. When you click the core, it glows red with malice, and then you're transported into a room made of netherrack. Then zombie pigmen start spawning, and a random lineup of items ranging from quartz to cactuses start popping out of the floor like it's giving birth upwards. Then, just as suddenly as it began, it stops, and the walls give way to reveal that you weren't teleported anywhere, and now there's a giant red penis in your Minecraft world. 10 out of 10 game mechanic. I would gladly wait another 9 years to do it again. And then, with that, I was really out of things to see in Old Pocket Edition. I took one last look at what I'd made in this save and closed out my world, satisfied with the work I'd done on my return trip to this ancient piece of Minecraft history. Was it good? No. No, this is definitely one of the worst ways to play Minecraft. But goddamn if it isn't unique. The shit they had to do to make a game like Minecraft fit on an iPod Touch ended up churning out one of the most bizarre yet oddly endearing things I've ever played. It's got such a strange vibe about it, you know? I touched on this earlier, but one thing that particularly struck me about Classic Pocket Edition was the general eeriness. Minecraft nowadays is a pretty social game. Even if you're not playing with friends, you're always going to be running into villagers and friendly mobs and wandering traders who sell nothing but junk. Back in the day, though, Minecraft was a lonely experience, and I liked it that way. Minecraft was a survival game at heart. You're alone with nothing but your thoughts and your will to survive. You'd sit there in your wooden hut that has no bed because you haven't found any sheep yet, and you hear a somber piano melody in the background, backed up by the sounds of a furnace crackling and animals wandering around outside. It was lonely, yeah, but it was a peaceful loneliness. It made you feel at ease. Compare this to Pocket Edition, where the night consists of almost complete silence. There is no music, no sound at all besides your own interactions with the world. Everything not in your immediate vicinity is covered in fog, and the world just ends at a certain point. No farlands, no invisible wall, just the limitless void. Like, Jesus, it's no wonder we believed in Herobrine back then. This is weird. All of these aspects add up to make an environment that really helps a kid's imagination run wild to the point they can get antsy thinking they're being watched by a computer ghost. Hell, I was getting antsy running around in these mine shafts I'd made, and I'm a fucking adult. There's a bunch of other weird quirks I haven't even mentioned yet. Let's see, redstone is in the game, but serves zero function. No caves means almost no lava pools, so the majority of seeds can't even have lava. And only a certain amount of peaceful mobs exist per save. So once you kill all handful of a species, you've officially performed genocide. That's not even touching on the creative mode side of things, where there was no such thing as Superflat and you couldn't interact with chests or crafting tables because there was no inventory system. When I was a kid, I had to look up Minecraft Pocket Edition flattest seed to find a nice place to build, and I'm pretty sure this video here is where I found the one flat-ish seed I used to use on a regular basis. I had this one world using this seed where I'd build big Lego sets in Minecraft and pretend to live in them. And let me just say, the Lego Death Star is surprisingly ergonomic. This thing functions well as a living space. But back on the topic of weird shit in Pocket Edition, lots of things are just off in this game, and that's why I love it. It's Minecraft with a distinct level of wrong that'll make any seasoned Minecraft player feel like they're in a dream. It's such a shame that this version of the game is completely inaccessible without jumping through so many hoops, because it deserves to be preserved. I think future generations deserve to know what a nether reactor is, and get to experience the horror of realizing you've killed the last pig who ever lived. Bring this back in some capacity, please. Minecraft Pocket Edition Classic, put that up on the App Store. Make it happen, Sweden. Or else I'll, make this happen a second time. Consider this a declaration of war. Peace.